But sometimes makeup is really expensive and it's also shit, so I'm very happy with these. Hello, welcome back to my channel, where today I'll be doing a first impression of Trixie Cosmetics. So I picked up 3 products. I actually only paid for 2. One I got for free because I bought this palette, I believe. But the products I picked up are the Girl Talk eyeshadow palette. This is a £12 eyeshadow palette and it was $49.50, which for £12 in my opinion is pretty good. So if the quality is good, I think this is going to be one of my favourite palettes. It's got some shimmers and it's got some mattes in it, so I'm very excited about that. The second thing I picked up was this Play Pigment. It was $12.75. I've heard such good things about this. My sibling has 2 of these and they absolutely adore them, so I'm really hopeful for this. And then the last thing I got is this lipstick. I got this one for free, but if you bought it by itself it would have been $15.25, so getting this for free is actually really good. I haven't opened this yet, so I don't know what colour it is, and the colour doesn't seem to be anywhere on the packaging, so we're going to have a surprise about what colour this is, and I really hope it goes with the palette. But the palette has quite a lot of colours, so I feel like we're going to be quite safe with this one. But anyway, let's start opening them. I'm going to start with Girl Talk because I'm going to put that on first. This is the palette out of the box. I feel like it's so cute. I really like this font. It's very Y2K. Like, you can tell it's inspired by Clueless and Legally Blonde, especially with the pink. Gives me very Legally Blonde vibes. But let's actually open it up and see what it looks like. These are the colours. I think they look so cool. It's actually brighter in person than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be more pastel-y. Like, this yellow is actually really bright. Ooh, that's the plastic film coming off. The pans themselves look really well pressed. These ones look a little bit more crumbly than the matte ones, like the satiny ones, but that might just be because of how it's catching the light differently. And I'm going to try and use a lot of these colours. I probably won't be able to use every single colour, just because I want to do a cohesive look that I can actually wear outside. Purple is one of the hardest colours to formulate in makeup, so I'm definitely going to use that one. And then I'm really drawn to this pinky purple. I think it's such a gorgeous colour. I also like these shimmery pinks, and I really want to try the yellow as well, so maybe I'll be leaving most of the blues for today, but I'm going to really try and dip into at least 4 or 5 colours. But before I go in with the eyeshadow, I am going to go in with a primer. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. It's my favourite primer and I feel like it's going to give the eyeshadows the best chance possible on the face. I'm definitely going to be doing a halo eye today because then I can add more colours into it. And I'm going to start out with this pink here, which is called Whatever, which is a really cute name. It really goes with the vibe. And I'm going to put on either side of my eye just to start off that halo. And I'm going to start out by trying to use this mirror, but it's quite long and thin, which isn't my preference with mirrors, so we'll see how we go with it. Okay, so I really like it on the eye. There's quite a lot of fallout. It is quite a powdery one, and also it's coming off the pan quite a lot, so I'm going to put this down and use my actual mirror instead, just because otherwise this powder is going to go all over my outfit. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think powdery makeup can be really good for beginners. It's so much easier to blend as well. The only thing is that when you use it, you do have to think about how much fallout you're going to get. Personally, I'm not very fussy about fallout unless it's black, because I'm very pale. Black is so obvious, but with a pink, I think it's absolutely fine to have a little bit of fallout onto the cheek that you're not really going to notice in the finished product. Now that I've got a handle on how powdery this product is, I can go in on the inner corners and the second eye without having so much fallout. With anything new, there's always a learning curve with it. The more you understand makeup, the more you can avoid the learning curve. But I don't think a learning curve means it's a bad product. I think it just means it's a makeup product, and all makeup products have that. I absolutely adore this colour. I think it's just a very, very me colour. It's almost exactly the same colour as this colour. Like, this is a raspberry pink, this is more of a bubblegum pink. I think if you used a white base for it, it would look more of that bubblegummy colour. But over the top of my personal skin tone, it has more of that raspberry colour to it, which I think I actually prefer. I never wear white bases under my eyeshadow, mostly because I'm already really pale, so my skin tone doesn't affect colours all that much. But if you did want a more bright pop, a white base would help so much with this colour. In terms of how much fallout I have on the pan, this is the one I was using. There is quite a lot of fallout around it, but I don't think it's any more than the other makeup palettes I have. I'm now going to go in with the purple shade, which is called BFF 4EAE. I'm not quite sure what that means. I know BFF is best friends. Oh, best friends forever. I've got it. It's best friends forever. I'm going to go with that colour there. And I'm going to blend out the outside of my eyes and across my nose as well. This purple is behaving exactly how I want an eyeshadow to behave. I want to be able to stamp it onto the face really easily, really simply, with only a few taps of the brush into the pan, which is exactly what this one did. But I also want it to be really easy to blend out and blend into other colours, which this one also does. I'm just so overly impressed with this specific eyeshadow, even more impressed than I was with the pink. Like, the pink I really like and it stamps down in the exact same way. But because this is a purple, and I expect less from purples, this is just really above and beyond my expectations of what I thought this palette was going to be. I really see why you would pay the extra price for this over brands like Morphe, who are a lot cheaper but aren't as good. This just feels like professional, workable makeup. Like, it's professional in the sense that it's easy to use rather than professional in the sense where it's hard to use, because some professional makeup products really have this elitist attitude where you have to earn the ability to use the makeup, whereas this makeup is so easy to do. Stamps on, blends out. That is exactly what you want makeup to do. You don't need to have a fancy trick in order to make it work. Anyone could use this makeup. I think the best description for this makeup would be user-friendly. It's just so user-friendly and universal. So this is the pink and the purple on my skin. I feel like it looks really good, really bright, really poppy. It's slightly different to what I normally would because I wouldn't normally leave a gap in my eyes, but I do want to try out the shimmers. And for the shimmers, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one on my top lid and this one on my bottom lid. It looks really dark on my camera, but in real life this is actually lighter than this one. But on the camera, this is looking more orangey. I feel like it's the lighting. But this one's much more of a bubblegum pink in person. And because it's shimmers, I am going to go with my fingers for this. I feel like it just works the best for shimmers. I know some people use brushes, but I never got a good result with brushes, so I am just going to go with my fingers straight off the bat. That went on just as easily as the other colours. My skin just obviously really likes the formulation of these. And I am getting that shine coming through. It's not like in-your-face brightness, but it's not even in-your-face brightness in the pan. It's more of that satiny finish that kind of just catches the light in different colours. Like when I move my head, I feel like it has like a little purple shimmer to it, which I feel like makes the shimmer more universally appealing, because you could add this to a look, you could add it as an eyeshadow topper and just get that little bit of shimmer that's more appropriate for the everyday. Whereas for most people, a really bright in-your-face shimmer isn't very flattering or very usable. So I feel like this is a really good shimmer to have in a palette like this because more people can use it. I'm also really impressed with the pigmentation on these shimmers. Some shimmers are more like toppers, so they don't have much pigmentation to them. But this one, you definitely can't see my skin tone underneath. You just have that pink color. I'm now going in with the baby pink. This one's actually softer than the other one. This one is so much brighter than the other one. Like, look at that shine. It's very Y2K, very 2000s, like when they had those big, bright, shiny blue eyes. I feel like it looks so cool. I put it in a place where I feel like most people wouldn't put it. I feel like more people would use it on the inner corner. I feel like you could use this as highlighter as well if you just went on with it lightly. I feel like it looks a little bit more silvery on my skin than it does in the palette. Like it's kind of lost that pink tone. So maybe in the future I would put it over a pink if I wanted it to show up pink. But overall, I really like the shimmer as well. I don't know where I'm really going to put these on my face on a general basis, just because I don't reach for shimmers. But I really like how interesting they are, and I feel like they're going to be really good for my drag looks. I want to use one final colour before moving on to the next product, and I think I'm going to go in with this yellow just because I think it's such a pretty colour. And I haven't used a yellow eyeshadow in so long. I'm just so drawn to this colour, I can't leave it for another look, I have to use it now. Like with most yellows, it comes across a lot darker on the skin than it ever does in the palette. But from my previous experience using yellow eyeshadow, I feel like this is a pretty good one. Just like the other colours, the pigmentation is pretty good. I'm assuming it's going to be just as easy to blend out. I've done it in a dot-like format, but I feel like it's going to be quite easy to blend out if you wanted it to. And it would look really good along the brow bone, I believe. They're just very good quality, which you would hope for with this price point. But sometimes makeup is really expensive and it's also shit, so I'm very happy with these. So final thoughts on the makeup palette. The colours are so easy to use, very universal, very user-friendly. It's just a very good palette if you're a beginner or a professional. I just feel like I'm going to get so much use out of this, especially the matte colours, because they're all colours that I'm very drawn to. In my opinion, it's just so well curated and so inspiring to do so many makeup looks. So overall, I'm super impressed with this. I think I would give it a 9 out of 10. I'm not giving it that final point just because of how expensive it is. And to me, this is just a very, very expensive product to buy. But I know for a fact that the more I use it, the more I feel like it's worth the money. It's just when I've only used something once, I feel like it makes it feel more expensive. And then the more you use it, the less expensive it feels. Tell me if you also have that feeling. I just feel like I need to use it at least 5 or 6 times before it's worth the price point. Moving on now to the Play Pigment that I'm going to open. This packaging is so cute. It has Play Pigment written on it just like the box did. And it's like a little wand. I feel like I'm not really going to use the wand. I'm probably going to put it on a brush and then put it on my face. But I do like this wand. I feel like it's a very useful wand for like doing the inner corners of your eyes. Or just like underlining your eyebrow or something. I really like the shape of this. But for me personally, I'm going to go in with this little tiny brush here just so I can get a little bit more detail. And I'm just going to take it off the brush like this just to get the pigment I want on the brush. So this is mixing quite a lot with the eyeshadow underneath, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because I feel like you could use this to really tone down all the colours in the eyeshadow palette, but it's also a bad thing because I did want that more bright white colour, and now I feel like I can't dip this brush back into the makeup product without getting yellow all over it. So I'm not quite sure about using it in this specific way. I feel like it will work better if you kind of just dab it on the eye and blend it out and use it as a base for these colours, rather rather than trying to use it like eyeliner like I just did. But that could also be because I'm using quite a light color, and when you use a light color, it's obviously going to pick up that pigment a lot more than darker colors. Like if I had the black rather than the white, it wouldn't have gone yellow at all, it would be very black. So I do understand that it's partially because I chose the white one. I put some on my finger just so I can get more on the brush without dyeing the wand a different color. And I'm going to try going over the same one again just to see if I can get it white. So with 2 layers, it's now completely white and opaque, and you can't see any of the yellow poking through. So obviously I just needed to be a little bit more patient with this product. It also dried down really quickly. I did the first layer about 2 minutes before the second layer, and it definitely felt like the first layer was dry when I was putting that over the top. So I feel like this is going to be pretty good for transfer reasons. If I tap it, it's coming off a little bit. If I just do this, really like press on it, I am getting the print and it is coming off quite a lot on my cheek, but I feel like that's pretty good. For this sort of product, I've had other products where they don't dry down at all and they're like this. Once it is fully dry, it doesn't smudge at all. It just starts getting a little bit flaky the more dry it gets. But if you let it dry, it will stick around so much longer than it did when I originally tried it. So that makes me think this would be a really good eyeshadow base, because while it dries quickly, it's obviously also movable. So you can put it on both eyes, spend the time blending out one and then blend out the other without getting those dry patches where you put it on too long. So I really do feel like this is quite a good and universal product. Like you don't have to have loads of them in order to get the same result, because I could put this all over my eye and then get a really bright eyeshadow over the top of it, or I could use it like this and get some little details added to my makeup. I feel like this is just a cool product and it's very interesting. It's just basically like having acrylic paint that you can put on your face. Final thoughts on this product is that I feel like it's quite universal and can be used in lots of different ways, which is exactly what it's made for. The possibilities of this sort of thing are really endless. You could even use it on your lips if you wanted. If you got a different color to white, make a really good lipstick. For me personally, I don't think it's going to go into my regular makeup bag, but I do feel like it's going to go straight into my drag makeup, because I always use white to carve out my cheeks and add highlights onto my face, and I felt like this is going to be a really good product for that. I feel like I'm going to be able to blend it out really well. So you will definitely be seeing this makeup product again, but probably not on a daily basis. Therefore, overall, I would give it a 7 or 8 out of 10. I really like it, but I don't think I'm going to be using it all that much. Finally, we go on to the lipstick, and I'm really hoping this is going to match this look, but if it's a purple, a pink, or a yellow, I can probably draw it together. But we shall see what colour we got as I open it. This packaging is so cute, it's fully heart-shaped. I don't know whether this is the colour of the product or that's just the sticker that goes with the colour of the packaging. Because if that's the colour of the product, it's going to be really light for me and don't think it's going to be very flattering, but we shall see. Okay, no, it's a very bright pink. Oh, this is much more me. I'm not quite sure why the sticker isn't the colour of the product. Like, I feel like usually the stickers are used to denote the colour of the product, but obviously it's just to match the packaging, which I'm not a huge fan of, because how do you grab them if you have loads of these? Like, if they're all in one makeup bag, you're gonna have to like scramble through it trying to find the right colour because it doesn't have the colour on the bottom. But seeing as I just have one, that's not necessarily an issue. Let's just give it a go. I do not like that at all. I'm not a fan of the colour. I feel like the colour is pretty much the same as the product, but it took a long way to get there. Like, I felt like I was wiping it on my lips a lot. I'm having a bit of an issue with the texture. I'm just not a big fan of it. It feels slippy but chalky at the same time. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's just something I'm not a big fan of. It doesn't have a smell, which is good because I don't like makeup products with smells. Because it's a bullet lipstick, it's not going to dry down, so you can blend it out really easily, which for my style of makeup is at least a good thing. It works quite well as a lip blush, but I don't think that means it's a very good lipstick, because obviously lip blushes and lipsticks are different things. So if you like this sort of style, I would recommend this, or if you're just more used to wearing lipsticks. I feel like maybe some of the things I'm saying about it are just universal things with lipsticks, but I don't own any other ones, so I don't know that. But overall thoughts on this product, I don't like it. I don't like the texture. I don't like the colour really on me. I don't like how it went onto the lips. I feel like I just had to swipe it too many times. I don't like that the sticker on it isn't the colour of the lipstick itself. I feel like this is just a massive miss for me. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. And the 3 is because I think the packaging is really cute. But yeah, that is it for this video, and that's it for my thoughts on Trixie Cosmetics. 2 out of 3 isn't bad, especially as I didn't pay for the product that I didn't like. But I would have been very, very disappointed if I had paid for that lipstick. If you've also tried this brand, please let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on it. Like, which products did you get? How many times have you used them? Especially if you have a darker skin tone, I'd really like to know how these really passively products work on your skin. But yeah, that is it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like. Also subscribe, as I'm posting 2 times a week, and I'd love to see you again. But until then, bye!